Hey, what up, what up? It's fight night, today. Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo, number 3. Um, yeah, man, it should be a very, 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 very interesting fight. They had 2 fights before, okay. Um, I kind of forgot. I don't want to say I forgot those fights, but I would have to go look at those fights again to really give like a great assessment of how I thought about those fights. But one thing I do know is that those fights were very, very close, and you got a lot of critics. A lot of critics who said that Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, actually won the first fight, and a lot of them say he won the second fight. Um, I would want to go to see those fights again to get a good analysis of what I thought about them. Those fights were kind of a while ago, so I kind of forgot of who I thought won or who won exactly. What I do remember is that those fights were really, really close, really, really close. And so I do have enough data, enough uh, know about in terms of the 2 fights to give like a prediction or give my best prediction of who I think is gonna win. But so yeah, let's start like this. If you want to go for a safe bet, I think the safest bet is to go for Canelo because he's just a fan favorite. He has all the accolades next to him, or all the fandom, or all the, you know what I'm saying, like even the odds are favoring Canelo. So that's a safe bet to make if you just gonna go off straight off the dome initially. But I don't think it's that easy just to say Canelo's gonna win. And I'm gonna tell you this though. You got a lot of not only just fans, but got a lot of you can say experts who's saying that Triple G has been looking a little rough the last couple fights that he's had. I don't know how many fights he's had since the last Triple G fight. I think like at most 3 or 4 fights. So he hasn't been as active as Canelo, and so that definitely, in a way, you could say favors Canelo because Canelo has been a lot more active, and that could favor Canelo. But at the same time, we don't know how active outside of the ring um, a fighter is. You don't know how much they're training, so you don't know if they might not be active in the ring, having fights and stuff, but they might be active outside of the ring in terms of training, keeping their body in shape. So you don't know, you know what I'm saying? But going back on, there's a lot of experts saying that Triple G hasn't looked the same. Ugh, I kind of find that hard to take that into account. You know what I'm saying? In terms of it being a way to assess this fight that's gonna happen tonight, because let's be honest, because this is a huge example of the Murata fight, right? They say Murata hit Triple G a lot, so he doesn't look the same. I think it's hard to give that as a fair assessment on how Triple G's gonna look in this fight, or if he's, looking older. Yeah, he's looking older is a factor. He's 40 years old, so you gotta take that into account because your body's breaking down as you get older. So I can take that into account. But to say he doesn't look as good as what he was before, it's kind of hard. Because let's be honest, Triple G has never been a hard opponent to hit against. He's always been there to hit. Okay, he's always been there to hit. The only difference is that Murata is just a tougher opponent than what he's been facing. So it may look like Triple G has regressed um, to a big degree, but it's not really that. I think it has more to do is that he's aging, and that's a bigger factor. But him regressing in terms of because he's getting hit a lot, I don't take that to account. I don't think that's a fair assessment. Because like I said, I think Murata is just a better opponent. Let's go back to when he was, let's say in his prime, or when he was better, as they say. Let's take the Kell Brook fight. Kell Brook was piecing him up, man. Kell Brook was hitting him a whole lot, a whole lot in that fight. Okay, I think even I'll even go out my way without even having the copy box numbers beside me. I can I could bet you Kell Brooks' punch count in terms of punches landed is probably on par with Triple G, if not more. Okay, and so Triple G has always been there to get hit. He's always been hit in fights. That's not the case. It's never his his asset in the ring has never been counterpunching or being a defensively sound um fighter. Has never been his asset. His asset has always been being a great pressure fighter, knowing how to cut the ring out excellently, and also in a way, oh yeah, and also having a great jab. Okay, his defense is his offense. His defense is using his jab. That's always been his defense. Okay, and him being and another thing, just him being tough and having a granite chin. He's always been that. So the idea that Murata was hitting him so often, so now he's regressing. That's not a great um. It's not an aspect to this fight to me at all. Or Derevyanchenko, when Derevyanchenko was hitting him a lot that fight, and that fight couldn't have went anyway. That fight was really close. Derevyanchenko even hurt him to the body a couple times. Okay, so he has always been there to be hit. Let me use another example. Derevyanchenko, that was more recently. Let me add another example when he was more into his, you could say his prime. Okay, I used Kell Brook as an example already. Let me go even further back. Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe was touching him every single time. He was touching him so many times that fight, and that's the thing. I think that was back in 2015. Okay, 2015, around 2015. So he's never been a person who was a defensively sound. Let me slip this punch and let me counter you with that. That's not his game, and so I don't think that's going to be an aspect to this fight, really. Okay, I think just him being a lot older is what's going to be the a factor to this fight. Not that he's getting hit a lot more. He's always been getting hit. Okay, but I think it should be very. It's going to be a very interesting fight. Very interesting fight. Who do I favor? I think, okay, I'll tell you this. The safe bet, if you want to be a very safe bet, the safe bet is to pick Canelo. I'm just going to be honest. But me, who do I favor in this fight? It's going to be tough because, let's see this. Let's look at this aspect to it. Canelo's just coming off of a loss from Dimitri Bivol, and he's from the Russian style of boxing, so that's kind of similar to Gennady Golovkin. Okay, but I think he's a little better than Gennady Golovkin. He's better than Gennady Golovkin in terms of, yeah, he might have that Russian style, but he has a little twist to his Russian style. He's very defensively sound. He likes to move a lot. He likes to be on his toes. He's not flat-footed like Gennady Golovkin. So that's the difference between him and Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin, he has that Russian style, but he also is going to press the fight. He also wants to cut off the ring, and so those are the two distinctions with Dimitri Bivol and Gennady Golovkin. The people that Canelo has had the most trouble with is boxers or people that's on their toes, slip punches, defensively sound, more of a boxer. But he's also had trouble with Gennady Golovkin because Gennady Golovkin is just he's just really tough. He's really tough, and believe it or not, he's not just a brawler. Gennady Golovkin can box. Okay, yeah, it may seem like he's not slipping punches, But trust me, there's a method to his madness. There's a method to what he does in that ring, and so he can box, and he showed that in the first fight that he can keep up with Canelo in terms of boxing. It may not look the same as Canelo or the way Canelo boxes, but his style of boxing still isn't effective, if you get what I'm saying. And so, man, I'm gonna be honest. This is a tough fight to predict, because I'm looking at the aspect that Canelo has a more of a chip on the shoulder to win this. Because at the end of the day, if he loses this fight, it might be the last big opportunity he has. He might retire. Canelo still has some years left in him, and so it's very, very hard. I think I'm gonna tell you this though. I think it's gonna be just as competitive as the first two fights. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's gonna be as easy as a lot of these other critics or people say it's gonna be. I'll say this: if the key for Canelo to win is to go to Triple G's body. If he can go to Triple G's body, go there early, he might get a stoppage, because he showed Triple G showed vulnerability in his in his body in the Derevyanchenko fight. Okay, and Derevyanchenko's not a puncher like Canelo. He's not the same kind of puncher. Canelo's a lot bigger puncher, packs a more puncher than Derevyanchenko, and so if he starts off the fight going to his body early, it might look like a stoppage for Canelo. I'm gonna be honest. If he focus in early on to the body, it will be a stoppage for Canelo. And I think Canelo sees that. And so I think Canelo sees that. But at the same time, I'll be honest though, I think both fighters can hurt each other. But they're both so durable in that ring at the same time. They're both so durable, but I think they both have the ability to hurt the other. You know, you have certain fights, like for example, the Caleb Plant fight and the Canelo fight. In that fight, there wasn't a time in that fight where I think Caleb Plant had a chance of hurting Canelo. I just didn't think he had that in him. But Canelo, throughout the whole fight, I knew he was gonna hurt him. And so you have certain fights or certain situations where one fighter has the ability to hurt the other, but you don't see the other doing the same to that person. And this fight, they're both big punchers. They're both tough guys. And so I do think both of them have the ability to hurt the other. But I think it's just a matter of who you think is going to do it, though, at the same time. And I think Canelo, at this stage of the game, is going to do that. But I wouldn't be surprised if, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Triple G hurts him. Because Triple G it only takes one punch, the right punch. If it goes, I tell you this, if it goes all 12 rounds, I might favor Triple G. I'll favor Triple G. Because that will let me know that Canelo was frustrated during the fight. He was frustrated. Because I know Canelo wants to stop him. I feel like Canelo wants to stop him more than Triple G wants to stop him. But that doesn't deter or the idea that Triple G wants to stop him. But I think they both want to stop each other, but I just think Canelo wants that more. And I think Triple G is more satisfied with a win at this stage of his career. But I wouldn't be surprised if Triple G stops him or even hurts him. I won't be surprised if Triple G hurts him. But if Canelo wins this fight, it's going to be by stoppage. If Triple G wins this fight, in my opinion, it's going to be by unanimous decision. That's the way I think the fight would go. But if I'm going to go for If I'm gonna go for a honest bet, I'm gonna go. This is really a gut. It's a really a gutsy choice. Really, you really got to go with your gut at this one. With this one, I'm gonna go with my. I'm gonna go with my gut, not with my brain. My brain's telling me Canelo, but I'm going with my gut. I'm gonna say Triple G by decision, 12 rounds decision. That's just gonna be my bet. All right, so please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.